Today we have a very special guest. His name is Tigran Khzmalyan. He is the chairman of the European Party of Armenia. And many of our viewers who are focused on East Asia may not know about you and your political party. So could you please kind of start by giving us briefly, who are you and what is your political party?
Thank you for the invitation. My name is Tigran Khzmalyan, right? A couple of years ago, a group of intellectuals and liberal-minded people in Armenia decided to shape a part of society which is dreaming about free world and living as an independent nation into the political group which we called European Party of Armenia, to make clear what is our goal. The goal is clear: to get rid of Russian yoke, to get rid and to take the country out of so-called Eurasian Trade Union and Collective Defense Treaty, which are both Russian imperial instruments for neo-colonization of the former Soviet states. Because what is going on right now in Armenia is just a part of the bigger puzzle, that started approximately in 2007, when Vladimir Putin openly announced his goal, his dream, which is a restoration of the USSR, as he called it, USSR 2. So everything that followed from 2008 war in Georgia, occupation of Georgian lands, then 2014 aggression against Ukraine, the current turmoil in Belarus, and the war and coup d'etat which Armenia is undergoing right now. These are all parts of a bigger global, or at least regional developments. We decided to create a party because we realized pretty soon after the so-called Velvet Revolution that this is a smoke screen, and the party and leaders who took the power, namely Nikol Pashinyan, who described himself as anti-corruption political activist, he's not going to challenge the main problem that Armenia is facing, along with other post-Soviet states. He was not going, and he did nothing to challenge Russian colonization. In course of 2 years, we got the war and Russian-Turkish joint occupation of our country.
Let me kind of play devil's advocate a bit. So, a more conventional view, as I understand it, would be that the main threat towards Armenia these days is not coming from the Russians, who have been considered by some to be allies of Armenia, but by Turkey, and especially its arming and supporting the Azerbaijani forces who are recently there's been fighting in that respect. So how is it that you kind of convince other Armenians that what they really need to be concerned about is Russian authoritarianism, and not be quite as worried about the Turkish threat, which is more immediate?
It's not very difficult to convince the remaining of our nation and the country, because everything is not just obvious. It is symbolically and cynically repeating the so-called déjà vu of 1920, when just in these very days, in the end of November of 1920, Republic of Armenia, First Republic of Armenia, which was recognized by League of Nations, the so-called UN of that time, and by 50 countries, including Japan, by the way. First Republic of Armenia had envoy, ambassador to Japan, By the way, the first in the world woman ambassador, Miss Diana Abgar. On November 22, the 28th President of the United States, Mr. Woodrow Wilson, signed the mandate on Armenia, which was given to him by League of Nations. And it recognized the territory of Armenia, which was from Black Sea to Valley of Arax. 7 days after that, on November 29, joint occupation by Russian Red Army of the Soviet Russia and Kemalist Turkish army have started just 1 week after Wilson's mandate. So right now, exactly 100 years after this, we are facing the very same déjà vu development when Russia from north and Turkey from the west, along with their common creation, Soviet and now independent Azerbaijan, which was created in these very days of 1920, have occupying Armenia, divided our the remaining of our country, of our lands, and simultaneously Russians managed to prepare the grounds for the coup d'etat, because the defeat, the bitter defeat that we underwent was not a military one, but rather political. We faced well-orchestrated plot of the Russian special services, which controlled effectively, efficiently controlled all possible political, economic, informational, and other fields in Armenia in past 30 years. So this is a myth, old Soviet myth about Russia as a salvator of Armenians. This is a lie. Excuse me for my French, it's a bullshit.
Let's take that as a given then for a moment and say that that yes, the Russians and the Turkish Republic are both essentially not looking for the welfare of a democratic Armenian state. Your party is known for wanting to make strong and good relations with the European Union. In fact, the name of your party is the European Party.
Exactly.
But you know, I guess a lot of people would question, though, can you really expect a lot of help from Europe? I mean, even if they are a model of civil rights and democratic society, you know, in terms of foreign policy, in terms of getting involved in the politics of the region that you're in, can you really expect much help from them?
We not only expect, we got this support already just a few hours ago, approximately 24 hours from today, on November 25 in Paris. The Senate of France recognized or recommended to recognize the Republic of Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh, as it's said, and the score was 305 pro and only one voice against it. During the war, during this 44 days nightmare, the Western side tried to stop the war 3 times. On October 8th, in the end of October, when French Foreign Ministry and United States, as both they are the co-chairs of the Minsk group of SCE, which was supposed to create an agreement on Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, which was violated by Russia and Turkey. They tried to announce ceasefire, and both times it was eventually rejected by not only Russians and Azeris, but by Armenian power as well. So that's why I'm calling it a coup d'etat, because the government of Nikol Pashinyan was forced to follow the Russian instructions, the Russian orders, and Russians did their best to turn Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh into their military base. The first part of this plan, so-called Putin plan, is already completed. Karabakh is occupied completely by Russian forces, and now they are divided the lands between their sphere of zone of interest and Azeri-Turkish zone of interest. Besides, last night, first groups of Azeri soldiers, along with Russian patrols, entered the very territory of the Republic of Armenia in two directions. In the north, near Lake Sevan, where the golden mine called Sotk is located, they are trying right now to occupy the factory and golden mine of Sotk. And second attempt to occupy the territory of Republic of Armenia was made in the south, where the supposed road between Nakhichevan enclave and Azerbaijan should be built by Turkish, with the Turkish help. I think that this goal is one of the main aims of this war. The main strategical goal of this war was to connect Turkey with Azerbaijan by land. That's why they are so zealous and so eager in cutting Armenian South. This is what's happening right now in these very hours.
In this difficult time, why don't we turn up for a moment about the positive vision of your party? What is it that you are aiming to achieve? What is your vision for Armenia? What kind of state do you think it can become in this very difficult neighborhood in which it lives?
If in previous years our appeals, our arguments to join European Union and NATO could have been regarded by some part of the nation as romanticism, as idealism, as something extravaganza. Right now, overwhelming majority of fellow Armenians here in Armenia and in diaspora worldwide see no other choice. Either we are becoming a real colony of Russia and Turkey, or we are cutting these ropes, these chains, we're unchaining our country, and we are appealing to the Western world and joining European Union and NATO. At least we should start this process. This is the priority, not only for our party, as it was program goal, but for the survival of the nation and for the statehood of my country.
And as a politician in your current role, what do you see as being the pragmatic steps you have to take in order to begin to realize this goal?
As soon as possible, we should get rid of this so-called government of betrayers and cowards. Right now, the situation here is very much like situation in France in 1940, when collaborationist government of Marshal Pétain in Vichy was playing its role as marionettes of Nazi Germany. Right now, Mr. Nikol Pashinyan is playing a toy a role of toy for Mr. Putin and Mr. Erdogan. So the answer is simple: resistance, resistance. It's what France made 60 years, 80 years ago, right? 80 years ago, being headed by General Charles de Gaulle, who was sitting in London with the help of Great Britain and United States. As we know, 4 years later, American troops liberated Paris and Marshal de Gaulle walked proudly on Champs-Élysées. We hope that it wouldn't take us 4 years. We believe it should be done in course of days and weeks. We should get rid of the collaborationists, of cowards and traitors. Secondly, we have to create an interim government which would prepare a snap parliamentary election as soon as possible. And only by the constitutional, political, peaceful means we should bring order and peace to our nation and to this region. We believe that with the help of the world, of democratic world, of European Union and honest, peaceful people around the world, we will succeed.
And within Armenia, if there is an election that comes up and the European Party puts up its candidates, my understanding is that it's still quite a small party. It's probably not on the threshold of gaining a majority in the parliament. What kind of allies can you expect, and are you making who share a similar enough vision that you can work together?
Right now, European Party of Armenia, which is a small group, which was a small group because the current situation is changing dynamically, rapidly. So I can't say exactly how many numbers and supporters we have now. At least my Facebook profile is getting hundreds of supporters every day in these past weeks. But we are part of a bigger alliance, which is called a National Democratic Alliance or National Democratic Pole, along with other political party, the Devil of Sassoon. It is a name from Armenian national epos, epical poem of 10th century. It has it had wider popular support. So together we count to break through the artificial obstacles created by the former and current regime, which were servants and still are servants of Russian special services. We will get into the parliament, no doubt. We could become members of interim government as well. We are ready to take responsibility because we have clear vision and roadmap of what should be done. By the way, we have at least one very strong ally into the country. That's the president of Armenia, because the only working institution, although he lacks real mechanism of power according to the ill-fated constitution, current constitution, which should be changed as well. Mr. Armen Sargsyan in past days many times openly, although diplomatically, expressed his disagreement with the capitulation, with the actions of Prime Minister. And our second maybe the most important ally is the constitution of Armenia, because according to Article 116, no international agreement could be take place on come into the power without ratification of the parliament, which never happened in past days. So it's usurpation of the power by Prime Minister, and he must be ousted or resign as soon as possible. So with our president and Armenian constitution, with support of the free world, with our democratic allies like France and hopefully United States new administration, we're not just hoping, we're sure we will overcome this catastrophe, this crisis, and we will become a member of the free world once again, as 100 years ago.
So as you know, we are a Japan-based, Tokyo-based news agency. So my last question to you is, what is your message to the world, including Japan and other countries? What do they most need to know right now and to act upon going forward?
I believe that people of Japan will understand our pain and loss very well, because Japan has the cause of Kuril Islands occupied by Russia and of island of Sakhalin. I shouldn't be the one who must explain to Japanese what does it mean? What does mean foreign occupation? The most important point right now for me is to explain that this is not just a war. This is a foreign occupation of Armenia. Literally, our army is destroyed not as a military body, but its commanders are either arrested or are just controlled by Russian special services. Armenian security service is destroyed. Armenian parliament is destroyed. Armenian government is destroyed. There is no statehood, no independent statehood in Armenia right now. We have to rebuild our country, stone by stone, step by step. We cannot do it alone without help of the free world. So we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight for the freedom and for independence by all constitutional and peaceful means. That's my appeal. That's what I want the world to know. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to Japan and to the world.
Well, it's our pleasure, and thank you for agreeing to this interview.